legends in the game. We really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block, helmets casket is top. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision, we got too many. Tick your check. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted to come around.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, DFS Up North, aka Josh Thomas, here with another Fore Thoughts PGA podcast for DFS Army, turning average Joes into DFS pros. If you are not with us, what are you doing? You can use that code Up North for 10% off either a VIP or a Core 4 membership. We are crushing. Solid week in golf. Not our best. Decent week. But man, my boys over in NASCAR this week, we had 5 guys bink the big one, right? $5,000. Yeah, it's a big split. Who cares? I'll take 5 Gs any day of the week. And leading from the front there, like MLB's been on fire. NBA's been great. The betting side's been awesome. I personally just missed out on a 120-1 Hank Lebiota ticket last week, but was up about 4 units on the week. So, if you're not a part of this, I don't know what you're doing, right? The Discord alone is worth the price of admission. It's $79.99 for a VIP membership for 1 month. Use that code Up North. That brings it down to about, or $69.99. That brings it down to about $60. Well worth it. You don't make your $60 back in the first month, please leave. I'll be the first to say it, right? We talk a lot about kind of big picture ideas in this podcast, right? And one of those is that, not every site is for everybody. Find where you are going to win and stay there, but then don't just jump site to site when you lose right away, right? You got to try to stick with the process, and, golf especially, right? Golf is a sport where you are going to be very, very up and down. And you're really we're back. Apparently we had I pressed a button on my mouse and we lost me here. So let me get things back up. What we were talking about. Yeah, I mean, you got to stick with the process, right? The last week was better, but the Travelers was a tough week for me, and I think that at times you can tend to try to really change it up, and that was one of our talking points in here last week, is that you got to really stick to the process and what is right. Again, like I said, we are winning like crazy over here. Just a couple of weeks ago, CM Bell 100K in golf, which is awesome, right? And we're gonna get another one this week at TPC Deere Run. We are the John Deere Classic Birdie Fest in the Quad Cities area of Iowa and Illinois. This is I think it's a fun tournament. It's a good tournament for DFS in that, we have, you have a couple of decent players at the top. 9K to 6K is pretty even. I don't think that there's not that big of a difference between any of the guys that are priced at 9.4K and the guys that are priced at 7.3K. So it's a fun week for DFS builds because you can leave a lot of money on the table. You can spend up, but I think that this is a week where you just play the good golfers. Play golfers that you feel good about, right? Par 71 this week, 72.68. It's going to play a little bit shorter than that. Stimp 11.5. Very, very slow. So one thing that we are seeing here is this area had a very wet spring. Then it got really, really hot. So they haven't really been able to get this course into the sort of shape that they wanted in for this tournament. And what I think that's going to happen is that, they've been quoted as the maintenance people have been saying that they've been cautious, long-term health of the course. So I think it's going to play really soft. I think that we see we're looking in a second at some of these winning scores of like a -27, -26. Like I think that we could push 30 this week. I think that we are going to see a 60 this week. I think 59 is 100% on the table. It's happened here before. Paul Goydos did it. And on that same day, Steve Stricker shot 60. So if we get a light wind with decent pin positions, I think we're going to see a really, really low score this week. Bent grass, decent sized greens, 5,500 is not huge, not small. Number of sand bunkers, 78. It's a I don't want to say it's a muni, but it kind of feels like a muni at times. 3 water hazards. There's only water in play on 3 holes. We're not going to see guys. And one of the holes is a par 3 where you have to really yank it to be in the water. So it's going to be a birdie fest. Get ready for it, right? So we look at the last scores. We see 21 under. Michael Kim, 27, won by 8 strokes over Bronson Burgoon that day. That was a crazy win. And then went on and missed like 60 cuts in a row. Bryson, 18. Ryan Moore, 22, minus 20, minus 22, minus 19, minus 20, minus 22, minus 26. I think what we end up seeing here is that my guess is we're going to see 24, 25 this week, if not more. Like I said, I think that given the right weather, we could see a 28, 29, 30 here. And especially because I think that 60, 61 is definitely in place. So you got to be prepared for another birdie fest, right? And, you know, I think I'm going to come back. We're going to go to number 3. With a birdie fest, what do you look at, right? And I think that as you look at, you know, kind of how this course is played, the fairways are fairly wide, but what we find is that gaining fairways here is really, really big. Everybody's going to hit greens. So putting yourself in position in the fairway is going to allow you to get it closer to the hole, right? And, you know, not only that, I think that, you know, so I'm going to give a little bit of bump to driving accuracy this week, which I don't think not many people in the industry will. But I think that driving accuracy is going to be pretty important here. And then I'm going to look at guys who are the par 4 birdie or better leaders, right? We break this down by actual hole type for our DFS Army VIP. So like the distances, but just overall par 4 birdie or better leaders this week. So guys like Anirban Lahiri, Peter Malnati, Patton Kazire. Lahiri played pretty well last week. Malnati is kind of, you know, can jump, right? But you look at the winners here, or the guys, even just the guys who have played well, it's guys out of kind of left field, right? A Michael Kim winning, a Bronson Burgoon playing well. Did I put any of the other guys in there for the runners up? Was that on that sheet? It might not have been. No, but, you know, even like a Brian Harmon, a Ryan Moore, these shorter guys, they're going to hit fairways, they're going to hit greens, and they're going to make some birdies, right? So looking at birdie or betters leader this week, I think is huge. Back to number 2, right? We jumped ahead. We'll come back now. Sticker shock is going to be real this week, and you need to get over your biases. All right. So at the top, yeah, I can get on board with like an 11K Daniel Berger in a field like this. Sung J M, Brian Harmon, they're looking at Cam Davis, a 9-9 Russell Henley, Kevin Na, Alex Noren, right? So when I go back and say, like, these guys that are priced in this 9K range are not that much better than the guys who are priced in the mid 7K range. Maybe it really what you look at it, they're really just playing a little bit better recently, or they have really good course history here. So you got to get over that kind of sticker shock and say, like, I can't play a $10,400 Brian Harmon. You got to kind of put the salary out the window and just try to build the best lineups that you can. And sometimes that's going to mean that if you're looking at it and saying, okay, I've got, 9-4 left. Do I like Alex Noren enough this week that I pay up for him? Or should I play a guy in the mid, a Doug Gim, or I'm trying to think who else is in like the mid, Hank Lebioda at 8-4. Do I leave $1,000 on the table? It's so much less about the salary this week as opposed to just building good lineups that you feel good about. So try not to think too much about the salary. And in fact, if you're like using an optimizer, what I would do is people feel like in events like this that they're really going to be forced to pay up. All right. And we know that that's really going to almost 95% of the time, that's a suboptimal play. So if you're building like with an optimizer this week in our DFS optimizer or Army optimizer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drop that almost down to a full. I'm going to leave like $1,000 on the table. Let's say I'm building 150 lineups. I'll take 1,000 off and build 75. And then I'll take 500 off and build 75. So I've got a good mix of lots of salaries on the table. And not because I think that you don't want to play a Daniel Berger or a Sung J M or a Brian Harmon. I just think that the gap is not that big. So I'm creating I'm creating some leverage for myself by building these lineups that are a little bit cheaper. So don't get over the sticker shock, get over your bias. just play the best lineups. I know that seems really easy, right? But hey, you read the cheat sheets this week, you do the research, you'll find out, kind of where we're at. And that's where I'm back to here. This was a lineup that I just quick went in and looked at. I'm like, oh man, yeah, I feel pretty good about this. Seamus Power, Hank Lebioda, Vincent Whaley, Richie Wierenski, got a couple of guys I'm really on this week. What do I do here? All right. I really think that you can play a couple of these 8K guys and you're going to leave $10,000 on, let's say, Dan, like we've seen it with the big guys the last couple of weeks. They come to these events, they're playing, they're kind of into it. I might throw a Kevin Streelman who I really like in here, and then maybe an 8K guy, and I leave $1,400 on the table. So don't feel like you have to force someone in because you have remaining salary. All right. So this week at DFS Army, we are not only covering this event. I will have a cheat sheet out for the Scottish Open. We are 1 week away from the big Open Championship, which is one of my favorite weeks of the year. I love having golf on in the morning, and I love being able to create showdown lineups at 2:00 in the afternoon. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. So to get prepared for that, I will have a cheat sheet out for the Scottish Open this week. So you get a 2-for-1 this week. So if you sign up for our DFS Army PGA weekly membership this week for $10, you're going to get the PGA event, the John Deere Classic, but you're also going to get the Scottish Open, which is, I believe, only on Draftkings on Fanduel, but I will have a cheat sheet out for that because we're some of the top, you got Ram, you got Scheffler, like all those guys are going over and playing. I think it's a good, indicator of how you play sort of links golf. And also just a good warm-up to get used to some of these names that are going to be in the field next week for the British Open Championship that maybe you're not familiar with, and get your feet wet a little with those guys. So we have monthly, weekly, yearly PGA, but really you are wasting your time and money if you do not sign up for the DFS Army VIP package. Again, 1 week is $20, a month is $70. You can use that code 10% off for life. Up north, $700 for the year, which is our best value, right? Essentially you're saving $140. You're saving 2 months. So I highly recommend it. Again, not only do you get access to me, you get access to all the other coaches, all the other cheat sheets. You get the DFS Army Optimizer, the research stations, all the stats you could ever need. I had a member messaging me the other day about, hey, like this is how I've been using the research station. I've been successful doing this. And it's like, yeah, man, like that's what it's there for you to, dive in and create your own models and things like that. So again, please get in, use that code up north. We would love to have you. Be on the lookout. Like I said, I'll have cheat sheets up for both events this week. And good luck, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.